get started. So Patrick, I don't know if you know any of us, but we'll start with the introduction real quick, and then we'll get into the discussion after that. So my name is Vimon Mitchell. I am the educational chair for the Denver chapter. I think I took over the chair from Darren. From it was Byron, then it went to Darren, then it went to somebody else, and then it came to me. And so I've been the chair for at least since 2016, and I have been with IFMA Denver chapter since 2000. I want to say 2012. So through the time frame, I was able to um, got my credentials, the FMP first, and then the SFP, and then finish up with the CFM. So everybody that's doing a presentation here or qualify IFMA instructor, and I became the IFMA instructor, qualify in 2000. Actually, I took the course in 2015 and was qualified 2017, I believe. So that's me. So who wants to go next?
Alphabetical by first name.
Speak at once.
Go ahead, Lisa.
All right. I'm Lisa Vanderheyden. I'm one of the qualified instructors for FMP, and I am working on getting qualified for CFM and SFP. I have been with the chapter, I don't know, a long time. I came into the chapter with both credentials that I got on my own because I didn't have access to the chapter's courses then. So I really love participating in the teaching and the training. I'm project manager for Arapahoe County Facilities and Fleet, and sort of have worked in all parts of FM.
Thank you, Lisa. Byron?
Hi, my name is Byron Edwards. I'm a facility manager for the U.S. Department of Energy, Western Area Power Administration. I've been an IFMA member for 16 years. I served various positions with the chapter in IFMA at the local chapter. Started the on-site instruction for classes here when I was an education chair because we looked at the cost. It was cheaper to have enough people to come to class to cover the cost of one instructor. And then as it progressed over the years, Famal got it to the point where he became one of the instructors, and a lot of us took after him and took the course, trained the trainer, became instructors. I've been an instructor since 2018, and I teach the FMP course in the essentials. I currently have 2 of the credentials, FMP and SFP, hopefully in the future begin my CFM.
Good. Thank you, Byron. Darren?
Hi, I'm Darren Rose. I'm Director of Facilities at the Credit Union of Colorado. I've been involved with IFMA for over 20 years and Denver chapter for about 12 years or so, and the past president, and excited to be upon this call because as Byron mentioned, his leadership helped grow me into learning more about the credentials and education, and then Vimal was great to tell me that I was taking the Train the Trainer back in San Diego to work on helping the chapter in that way. So glad he did that. Excited again to be on this call to discuss all the different opportunities that are available to members.
Thank you, Dan. Caroline?
Hi, I'm Carolyn McGarry. I'm a past president of the Denver chapter. I earned my FMP, my CFM, and then my SFP before going through the Train the Trainer to become a qualified instructor for the FMP. Did it the same time as Darren there in San Diego. So a few years now we've been doing this training. So I teach the FMP and the essentials of FM, which I'll talk about today. with you guys. And I work for a company called EML. We do operations and maintenance for the federal government. So.
Thank you. Dennis?
My name is Dennis Supple. I am the current Vice President of Treasury for the IFMA chapter. I am also a certified facilities manager trainer. I was also sort of voluntold to go to Houston and take train the trainer so that I could teach the CFM class. I hold the CFM certification and the SFP. And I hold the CFM due to the wise counsel of Vimal, because when I first got into IFMA, I was paying for everything myself. My former company wouldn't pay for it, and I asked Vimal what would be best, FMP or CFM, and he said, "You're so old, you might as well just do the CFM because you've already got all the FMP credentials." So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Thanks, Dennis. So Patrick, can you give us a little background about yourself?
Yeah, I'm fairly new to IFMA. Didn't really hear about it too much. Dennis actually contacted me a few years ago about doing a tour in one of my facilities. I'm current facility superintendent for the city and county of Denver. I take care of the Wellington Mud Building and 4 other properties downtown. So just really what I was looking for, just a little information on the IFMA certifications and how they can help me progress my career. Because I mean, I think I should do okay without them, so why do I need them?
Thank you, Patrick.
And that was a good tour. Thank you.
And then Chris.
Hi there. I missed part of that. Do I introduce myself?
Yeah, but briefly, yeah.
Okay, so my name is Chris Morgan. I'm the administration manager with facilities and fleet in Arapahoe County, and I'm currently the vice president of membership. And I was on the call today to learn more about the educational program. So when people ask me questions, I know a little bit more about it.
All right, thank you. So I'll share my screen. Can you guys see?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So as we just went over the introductions of all the qualified instructors, we'll take turn discuss different topics. So we're going to discuss what learning options that are available for the members and also non-members with local chapter and international. We'll cover the essential of facilities management. We'll discuss the facilities management professional, the FMP. We will discuss the sustainability facilities professional, SFP, and discuss certified facilities management, CFM. So this is the options that are available to the members and also the non-members, right? So the link, which is shown here, is the link on the new international website that when you click on that, it'll go to the international web page. And then under that web page, there's a couple of sub-link that you can click on, like resource, career, and credentials. So when you click on those sub-links, it kicks you into a different folder and kind of go over everything that we're going to talk about today. How to get the CFM, how to do the FMP, and how to do the essential of facilities management. And there are options that you can select to do that either in person, virtually, or you can do self-study. So they have prices for that. And the chapter do offer all of those, all 3 of those credentials and the essential of FM. Okay, so essential FM is not a credential. It's just we'll go over what it covers here in a little bit. but that is the only one that's not essential. And there's a lot of resource in that IFMA org link that you can get the additional magazine articles, anything that you are looking for that deals with facilities management is also in those links. So I recommend you go to that link and kind of scan and play with all the different sublinks that you can open to and get familiar with the links. Okay, so like kind of mentioned, we do have in-person classrooms. We have online e-learning, and then we have virtual live courses. So Debbie can guide you through what course the chapter offer and what course you have to purchase through the international. So like the online e-learning, you will have to purchase that through the international. There's some other virtual classes that are offered, not just in Denver, but also in other locations that you can sign up through. And those are mainly signing up through the chapter. Okay, so like Phoenix might have a virtual class. You could sign up through them. We have some virtual class here. You could sign up through us. So we also offer the national. So the national is a monthly, more of a presentation setting. So we invite partners to present, like an HVAC company, an engineer firm, security firm, or anybody that is either part of our chapter or that have training that is going to be related to FM. So the national is more of a let's learn about how the building automation system affects your building. So we would bring in a person that knows that topic, and they would spend about 40 minutes talking about that in a PowerPoint setting, and then open it up for Q&A. So it's more like a learning session. So we try to provide this every month, and this would be during lunch hour. And we are actually starting this month. Actually, next week, we'll do our first in-person national for this year. The last one we had was back in January of 2020. So moving forward, we'll do the in-person national. The FM Roundtable is what we're doing now. So this setting is basically getting together. Typically, we'll do this in a live setting where we actually sit around a table or a conference room and have discussion mainly about best practice, and everybody brings their point of view and their experience to that discussion, and then we'll just go around the table. We typically have a topic, then everybody share their knowledge on that particular topic, and have a Q&A discussion session. Okay, so that's what the chapter provides. So now I would ask Byron to cover the FM career path.
Thank you, Vimal. If you look at this slide here, it tells you the career path of facility management. It's different levels. The essentials start with essentials, goes to FMP, SFP, and CFM. And the essential is somewhat new. It's just over or just under 3 years old, because they're starting to find a lot of new people are changing their careers and coming to the facility management field. Most of the veterans in the facility management field actually fell into the field because they were associated with a career that was associated with facility management, but IFMA took it a little further by creating this credential, not a credential, but this program where if you were coming into facility management, you'll get to know a little bit more. Then you got the upper levels, which all the credentials drop in and stuff. So if you're just coming in or you're thinking about doing a career change and you have the funding or the company brought you in and they want you to be the facilities coordinator or something, The essentials course probably be a good course to have you enroll to give you a good knowledge of what you'll probably be stepping into in the career. And then as you progress further, you'll go, okay, I want to advance my career. And that's where you start looking at the other credentials. The baseline one is the FMP. And then you have the SFP, which focuses on sustainability. And the ultimate goal for any facility manager will probably become a certified facility manager, which encompasses all of the previous. The CFM itself encompasses all 11 competencies. And if you look on that slide, if you look at all of those competencies, they almost look like a career field, a total career field. So that tells you how much a facility manager knows, have their hands into. So it helps out a very lot. It helps you to learn how to communicate with the different business units in an organization. Any questions on that right now? Okay, we'll pass that on to Carolyn, and she'll give you in-depth information about the essentials of facility management.
Yeah, so just getting a little more into the essentials. Like Byron said, this is great for what I'll call the newbies. You're entering the field, you're switching fields, you're not sure what you know, and gives you a really good overview and some basics of some terminology, some language, some concepts. The Essentials of Facility Management is a series of 10 booklets or little workshops that describes the field of facility management and its value to the organization. It gives us an overview of the 11 core competencies through IFMA and gets a little bit more into, say, the operations and maintenance side. So giving you an idea of the different types of systems that a facility manager might manage. And then closes it out with going into some work management practices. So things you're going to know from a work management standpoint, handling, how to schedule work, how to, if you're managing a team, how to schedule and manage those vendors, estimating time, that sort of thing, getting things on the schedule. I said it was great for newbies, right? It's also really great for our vendors and associates. So again, back to that common language and giving you that facility manager flavor. Maybe you work on, the custodial side, you work on the operations side, and you're not specifically a facility manager, but you want to make sure that you are providing the right information to your FM or providing it in a way that maybe they are used to seeing it. This will help you kind of get lined up with that. And it's also a really great introduction before taking, say, the FMP. Say you're not 100% sure where you're lined up on the FMP. That's the great introduction, foundational setup. I won't steal anybody's thunder on that, but this one gives you a little more introduction to one of the 4 books there, as well as it hits that work management side, which none of the other credentials currently do. The course is taught over the course of about 4 days, and we split it up. We'll get into that when we talk about the calendar further in, but it is a globally recognized certificate that you'll get if you take it. And that's what I wanted to cover. Questions? All right, we'll pass it on to the FMP.
Great. So the FMP is called the foundational credential for IFMA. It is really good for people who are moving into leadership, changing their role from the earlier levels in facility management or coming into facility management and want to learn more about those higher skill levels, advancing their organizational maturity. The FMP separates you from the crowd. So it's something that you can put next to your name on your title, and it's something to be celebrated. So to get the FMP, you do have to purchase the IFMA course, study and take tests. The tests are self-paced, and there is one for each of 4 foundational courses: project management, operations and maintenance, leadership and strategy, and finance and business. You can take the tests multiple times. They're open book. They are challenging despite being open book, and they are timed. But you can take it over and over. And I think you can take it now 3 times before it times you out for 30 days to go study. But it is certainly attainable. There is a study guide online at ifma.org/credentials that talks about the framework and how much time you would expect to put into study and testing for the FMP. The Denver chapter offers each of the FMP courses once per year in a live format. I believe we're starting in July with our first courses. We are also offering a virtual format that will start in August. So the live format is 2 days of classroom instruction for each of the 4 classes. You can take 1, 2, 3, you can take all 4. The virtual course is offered online for an hour and a half per chapter. So the leadership and strategy is 4 1.5-hour sessions. Project management is 5. I think finance and business is 6. And operations and maintenance is 5. And we have those scheduled out into January of next year. The virtual format is more for the self-paced learner who we ask you to study the material ahead of time, come prepared to the class with questions. It's more of an overview. We do have some time for discussion of situational questions. And you can send questions to the instructor and the class will discuss them. The live in-person classes, we go through the book in great detail. We do exercises. We do the practice chapter quizzes together. And we generally offer a study session the week after the final class for each section, so that you can ask any questions that are coming to you. We do suggest for either version that you take those tests as quickly as possible after the course is finished. You can, like I said, take them again, but do it while the knowledge is fresh to you. FMP is not required to get the CFM, as Dennis had mentioned. It is recommended. It's sort of a core because the CFM encompasses all 11 areas, of which 4 are covered in the FMP. Last thing is that for FMP, there is no ongoing maintenance requirement. So once you have it, you have it. It is a credential that stays with you throughout your career. Do you have any questions?
That was a good note, Lisa. I'd also say because it's a certificate, the essentials also does not have continuing maintenance. It's just a certificate, not a credential.
All right, so we'll talk about the SFP next.
Great, thank you, Lisa. So IFMA has, as mentioned, 11 core competencies. The FMP has 4 of those competencies, and the SFP has 1 on sustainability. And so with sustainability and the SFP program, it's not about chasing points and putting a plaque on a building. It's about any building, whether it's a Class A facility or a warehouse, they can all be operated in a more sustainable way. It's about impacting people, planet, and profits, the bottom line. And all 3 of those combined, not just one or the other. And so making those evaluations. Sustainability can be politicized at times. I like to think that I take a conservative approach, approach in conservation rather than looking at just chasing points when it comes to, like I said, LEED or Green Globes or a certification for a building. This focuses on how you can create a strategic plan for sustainability for your organization. There's 3 modules, and the 3 modules are strategy and alignment, managing sustainable facilities, and operating sustainable facilities. And the program that we offer, the Denver chapter, offers great value to our members because we've offered these for a number of years, and if we get enough students into the course, we offer the cost at the lowest cost possible, even compared to IFMA rates, IFMA international rates. If you were to do self-study, it's going to be $1,600 just to do the SFP course itself. And for about another $800, $600 to $800 more, we have that virtual opportunity for our students when it comes to the SFP. And when you think about it, that you have a qualified instructor, one that has been in the industry for a number of years, has helped even create the content, and our IFMA fellows, Hall of Famers in the industry, and you're getting that type of instruction, it's well worth that value. And then similar to the FMP format, it is an open book test when you go through each of the 3 modules, the 3 tests. The third one is often seen as the most challenging test when it comes to really a lot of the different products that IFMA offers, but it is one that's going to help you in creating that sustainable plan and that long-term program for your organization. Once you've completed all 3 successfully, then you are able to obtain your credential. And similarly to the FMP, you're to read through the materials. There's interactive exercises with the instructor and your peers. The great thing with the virtual and even in the in-person versions of the SFP is that you're getting other students from other industries that come in and take the course, and you're learning not just about the materials, but how another organization might operate in a differently sustainable way and gain additional information that may not be in the materials itself. And similarly too, no ongoing maintenance points that you have to acquire. Once you have the credential, you have it for life. So those are the highlights for the SFP.
And one thing to add to Darren's SFP is we do have a course going now, but we was able to reduce the cost to $1,800. So you're not, if you're buying it online, it's $1,600. So because of the different chapter, we have an agreement with 4 other chapter in the country that all sign in, and we provide a hub here. So that way you can technically go into the hub and learn it virtually, or if Darren is teaching it, he most likely will be at the hub and teaching that course. So that's a good thing that the chapter work with all the different chapter, and this is only approved by international for the 5 chapter that we have an agreement for, and we were able to provide this platform. At least I think it's going on our 4th year now, so we'll probably continue on with this platform for the next couple of years. So.
Yep. Thank you, Vimal. Yep.
Okay, let's get on with the Certified Facility Manager credential. As we said before, there are 11 core competencies in IFMA, and the CFM encompasses all of them. There are communication, finance and business, operations and maintenance, performance and quality, risk management, occupancy and human factors, project management, facility information management and technology management, sustainability, leadership and strategy, and real estate. And Patrick, you had asked, why would you be interested in this, and what benefit would it have in your career? I can tell you personally from taking this and becoming a CFM, if I didn't have this certification and my SFP certification, I would not have the position I'm in now. That's part of the reason they hired me, is because of the CFM certification and because of the knowledge I have from it. I was in facilities for years before I got my CFM. And as I got the credential, I learned about things that I had never dealt with before. Real estate is not something that most facility people deal with. Sustainability was not something that was high on my list, and leadership and strategy were not either. This course stresses those things, and we try to teach you to think from the 30,000 foot level. We want to show you what the C-suite is looking for and how you can approach the C-suite with your ideas and stuff and make a great business case for what you need to do. It is the top credential in this industry. And currently there are 2,615 active CFMs in the world. 68% of those people are managers or director level. 55% of the people who take the CFM and pass it receive a salary increase. And there's about a 79% exam pass rate on this credential. It does have to be renewed. It is a credential. You have to have points. You have to continue your education. You have to attend IFMA functions to attain those points. Part of what we're going to do this year, at any time that we go to World Workplace, a good part of it is to have fun with our friends and network, but a large portion of it is to get continuing education credits so that we can maintain this credential. It's something worth earning. In order to earn it, you have to have at least 5 years experience in facilities, or 3 years experience with a bachelor's degree or master's in FM. Most of the people I know who are CFMs enjoy having this and have found that it has helped them throughout their career. You may be content where you are now, but if at some point in time you decide to leave, I think you will find in most facility management or director of facilities openings, they're going to ask you for the CFM certification. That's my take on it. We teach this class in the Denver chapter. In fact, we're teaching it in July of this year. It is an intense 3-day course. I am one of the instructors. Darren is the other instructor. And we concentrate on trying to get you knowledgeable on all 11 of these competencies and get you to take the course and pass the course. This test is taken at an independent testing institute. It's not an open book test. You walk in, they take everything from you but a pencil. You can't have your watch, you can't have your wallet, you can't have anything with you to go take this test. It is a timed test, and you will find out within 5 minutes of finishing the test and hitting the computer screen whether you pass or not. There's a lot involved with it, but it is a credential that I think is well worth the money. I paid for it myself. The company I was with earlier would not pay for it, and I thought it was worth the investment in myself to pay for it, and it has paid off for me taking it, because it's allowed me to move on in my career. Do you have any questions, anybody, about this credential or about the classes or about any of the competencies? Wow.
So only a couple of things to add for all of the classes that we just mentioned, the credentials and the certifications. You have multiple options. You can do self-study, purchase it through the international. You could go look for virtual, either at the Denver chapter or through the international. And you could do live or in-person courses, either with the Denver chapter, or there's other chapters out there that will offer the live courses. You could also take these courses in World Workplace. They offer that once a year. And then you can also take the same courses in Fusion, which they offer around the April timeframe. So there's a lot of options for courses that International and Denver chapter offer. And if there is questions on what should I take, as Byron slide provided, it kind of give you a career path. On the website, the link that I was mentioning, the resources also provide links in there where you can put your information in as far as how many years of experience and what type of experience you have. And then at the end, it kind of give you where you would best fit starting out with. And then if there's any questions on, if you don't want to use that link to figure out where you're at, you could always call me and ask, hey, and we could discuss where your career path looks like, and what course I recommend you to take, or any of the instructor. They have that wide knowledge of that. So those are all open to anybody that wants to do that. So, and then, because we offer these in-person courses, we tend to get a lot of individuals sign up for mainly, the SFP and the FMP, and we kind of budget it out where at the end of the cycle to offer some scholarships for individuals to apply for. So Byron is going to talk about the Denver chapter scholarship, and then I know there's other scholarships out there. Maybe Darren, you could touch on some of the foundation scholarship too. So let's start with Byron.
Had to come off mute. Sorry about that. Yes, the Denver chapter offers scholarships for in-house courses that we have. And then also we do have other scholarships that we offer. Like, for instance, if somebody wanted to attend Fusion, that's a scholarship that we offer, as well as World Workplace. For World Workplace and Fusion, most of the applicants are mostly CFMs due to the fact that they're trying to retain their credentials. So they go to those events to get the continuous education credits, and you also get credits for just participating along. But we do offer a scholarship right now. I just cleaned it up. I'm also the web chair, so I went on the admin side, and where you can go on that website to that credential, the scholarships link, and you can hear about information about applying, and you can apply right there. Once you do the submit, it goes through a panel that look at all the applications, and they actually award a contract based on funding that we have available. I don't think it's been, since I've been a member, I don't think it's been 1 year where we did no less than one scholarship. So at least one is going out. I've seen cases where we had 4 or 5. Most of the people, we tell them, go to the website. Is this what we offer? It helps us to, if we fall short of a number of people in the class and somebody get a scholarship, that might put us at our threshold that we need the minimum threshold to teach the courses. F for all courses, FMP, even the CFM exam review, that helps out too, to help people get over the hump and get through that. The scholarships started when we actually started the on-site courses, and we were bringing in enough revenue, and that's when we started bringing in offering scholarships. And back when I started as an education chair, we gave a scholarship to say a member say, hey, you can host the courses at my location. Well, the payback is, hey, you can give one person free to take the course. So we'll pay for that because we're making additional funding to cover the scholarship. So a lot of the scholarship money is raised sometimes mostly from the participants. If you get a high level of participants, that covers the cost of instruction. So we kind of pump that money right back into scholarships. So, and that's just the internal scholarships. Darren probably can talk to you about the foundation scholarships that we created years ago. Any questions at this point on the internal scholarships to the courses? Go ahead, Darren.
Sure. So with the foundation, the IFMA Foundation is focused on impacting the future of FM, and college students that want to go into the facility management field or related field like construction or architecture have that opportunity to receive a scholarship. Applications are in the February to April time process, so that time is passed for this year. If you're a student, definitely seek either Carolyn or myself or IFMA Foundation's website. We can get you plugged in with that. But also, they started offering a scholarship for the SFP program. Eric Teichholz, who is an IFMA fellow, created a trust for the next 10 years to offer the SFP credential to a willing and interested FM. And I will read from the site as far as the selection process. A committee of FM professionals will evaluate each application and score according to the evaluation guidelines. Awardees will be notified within 48 hours after the decision is made. There is a small application that is filled out. People that are currently in facility management or related field with a demonstrated interest in sustainability. A young professional or YP of IFMA is encouraged to apply as well. Applications are available starting January 2nd. They are due this year by 5 p.m. Central Time on July 16th, with the announcement occurring on September 1st, 2020. So there is a free opportunity for a self-study SFP course if that is of interest to you. Great program to get involved with and connected with. And then when you're involved with a scholarship like that, it also comes along with the connections that you're going to develop in that sustainable community. So you get to know Eric and other people in that program as well. On LinkedIn, we've created a sustainable facility professional page there for conversation about all things sustainability, not just the SFP, but on sustainability as well. So yeah, so there's great opportunities. If you're not sure, again, reach out also to Bimal. He's at that central single point of contact on everything education as well. But there's also the broader branches as instructors that you can reach out to us as well.
All right, so the training schedule is on the Denver website. So the Essential FM is coming up here in August. We'll have two-day session. And here's the fee for that. So there's a member fee and then there's a non-member fee. We also, like Lisa mentioned earlier, we have the 3 options for the FMP. We have an in-person only option, and there's a fee for either the 4-pack or the 1 single class, and then the members and non-members course. So the in-person class actually starts June 22nd. So that's in a couple weeks. So if you want to do that, please let us know sooner than later because it takes us a couple weeks to get the material in and then get you online for the test, to take the test when you go through the courses. And then the option 2 is virtual only. And that one doesn't really start till August the 2nd. And then the fee is a little bit reduced because you're not coming into a location. So it's a little bit cheaper. And then the third option is a combination of both. If we are moving forward with the virtual, then the option 3 is still there. But as now we don't have a lot of individuals signing up for that. So we might just be down to option 1, but we'll see how it goes the next couple months. Then the CFM Workshop is coming up here July 13th, 14th, and 15th. And then that's the fee structure. So all the fee covers all the materials that you need for all of the classes, but the CFM does not cover, the fee does not cover the tests and the certification and the certificate once you get it. Okay, so the same thing with the same thing with the FMP and the SFP. At the end, once you complete those courses and pass those tests, you will still have to apply to get the certificate, and there is a fee associated with that. Okay. And then I will open it up and stop sharing, and we can have any Q&A session. So, are there any questions?
So one of the things with the all-day courses, lunch is included that that the chapter pays for as well. So you don't have to take time to try and find a location. We take care of that.
I have a question. How do the IFMA courses compare to the BOMI courses or APA courses or any of the others that offer certified, or certificates for facility people?
I could speak to the APA because I am a CEFP, so that's APA equivalent to CFM. So APA offers that. The thing with APA is high ed, so it's K through 12 and high ed. So a lot of the test information is more related to how you would operate in a high ed platform, right? So the CFM, when I did both of them, when I did took the different tests, is the CFM is more of a global type of information. So when we deal with square footage, or we deal with elevators, or we deal with grounds, it's more on a global type of questions. And I think that it's a little bit different input from that. Let me see, Apple has changed its how they prepare you for the test. So they kind of have like a cohort group that they actually kind of help you do self-study, and then you just schedule a test. Right now, they actually do it at the online test, so you don't have to go to a central location to do the test. That kind of answer your question?
Yeah, it helped with the APA part of it. I mean, I've taken APA courses because I started in higher ed, so that's my benchmark reference. But
right.
I've also known other people in the BOMI courses, and they, it seems to be sort of preference. So I'm just trying to figure out what is the best route for myself.
My understanding, Patrick, is that the BOMA courses are more technical in nature, more about the practice of facility management, and the IFMA, the CFM, is more strategic management in nature, if that makes sense.
To add on to that, Lisa, BOMA is very concentrated on property management. That's their biggest piece. So I've seen people actually get some credentials closer toward the facility side, but they end up coming to IFMA to get more of the facility emphasis directly, because they're more, it's basically what his name says, building owners and property managers. So but you do find people that did get certifications under BOMA as well as IFMA, but it's really heavily emphasis on property management in the business side of the house. And then you have some organizations or property management companies kind of guide their people where they want them to go. JLL, places like that, they kind of guide where they want their facility people to, what career, what association they need to be focused on, because it might be based on what their role is when they're doing that work for a company.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I want to add one more thing. Darren mentioned about the scholarship at the foundation level. The chapter he mentioned that the chapter actually support them. We at least award a chapter's scholarship through the foundation where we donate money to the foundation for a specific scholarship that's named after the chapter. It's called the Pat Harris Scholarship. Pat Harris was one of the founding members of the local chapter. And she was an IFMA fellow as well. And so we named in her memory that scholarship. And we've been running that scholarship for well over 10 years now, I think, probably even more and stuff. And we had some great recipients over the year. Our biggest focus on awarding that scholarship is more towards a Colorado native going to a school locally that's going in facility manager or associated career field. And if we don't meet that requirement, we kind of push it further out. If it's a Colorado native in another state, going to a college in another state, presuming I'm trying to get a degree in facility management or associating field. And so we kind of have our control on who actually gets the award, because once they get all the applicants, all the donators that's got their scholarships, they get the pick from the candidates. And for quite a few years, we were usually in the top 5 for selection because our scholarship is one of the highest scholarships that's awarded.
Okay, any other questions?
That's all I had. Thank you for your time today and for going through all of these.
Okay, so thank you, everybody. So if you have specific questions or need any clarity, just reach out to any one of us and we'll be happy to help out. So anybody have any last minute thoughts or last minute words?
Just thanks for attending.
I see Mari, she said she got on later. This probably be posted on the website within the next 24 hours. I usually go and edit the front piece, our little small discussion we had way before the meeting. We start recording early to make sure we get everything. So within the next 24 hours, it'll be posted on our YouTube page.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hope to see you
Bye.
in class.
Yep.
Right.
Bye.